And we are back with Hasbro's continued coverage of San Diego Comic-Con 2024. I'm your host, Jordan Hembrough, coming to you live from the Hasbro Pulse live streaming studio. Hey, do you like Transformers? Do you like G.I. Joe? Well, I know you do. You're going to want to stick around for the next interview. I am here with Evan and Lenny. Lenny's from the G.I. Joe team. Evan is from the Transformers team, two of Hasbro's best. How are you gentlemen doing today?
Wow, that is a compliment.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I like to build everyone up.
There's a lot of us.
Yeah, wow.
Well, everyone's the best.
Everybody is the best. I
everybody's
agree
the
with
best.
that. That's very true.
Fantastic. You guys enjoying San Diego Comic-Con?
Yeah,
A
absolutely.
lot of amazing reveals this year around. It's beautiful. A lot of positive feedback.
Yeah.
Positive feedback.
It's the stuff we're doing is awesome, and it's really cool to see all the exciting stuff all the other companies are doing. It's exciting.
Yeah.
I love doing. Well, first of all, let me ask you something. What do you think of the new streaming studio? I mean, come on.
It's awesome.
Is this the best?
Yeah, this
It's
is
awesome.
the best. Yeah.
It looks cool,
Actually bring
too.
all the beautiful content live from the convention floor
Yeah.
to all you folks at home. And we've been getting a lot of positive feedback so far.
Sweet.
Everyone
Sweet. That's great to
hitting
hear.
us up on social media. Also, if you guys have any questions for Evan and Lenny, be sure to type them in. And if we get a chance, we will feed it over to them so we can answer any questions you guys might have. So this is what I love doing. I love sitting down with you folks, engineers, designers, the men behind the curtain, giving everyone a sneak peek of what we do at Hasbro and what you folks do. Let's start with you, Evan. Tell me about how you started in toy design.
So it's kind of a funny story. I guess it was never the intent, but it just sort of ended up happening. So Hasbro still has a lot of roots in Ohio just because of how they acquired Kenner back in the day.
Kenner Toys.
So when I went to school, I went to an art school, and I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I knew I just wanted to draw.
Yeah.
And when I was in, I think, my third year there, some old Hasbro people came and they had a toy design competition. And they were just like, hey, design an action figure in a month, present to us, top 5 people get to interview with Hasbro. So I did that. Some of our friends that you know as well made it in there, and I made top 5 and I was able to interview. I did not get that. We were essentially interviewing for like a temp position for like a summer job as we were going
through.
through.
How everyone starts.
Yeah, exactly. I did not get that, but my friends did. And then afterwards we kind of graduated and they were like, hey, you should come back out here and you should like interview with them again. They really liked you. And I did, and I got my start on the Creo brand. So it was like it was our Hasbro building system. Yeah. They had a huge Transformers segment, and the moment I got in there I kind of established it's like I know a bit about Transformers.
One could say.
Yeah, you could say. And then from there I just kind of made my way in. I started bouncing around. I worked on Marvel. I worked on Star Wars. I mean, you've worked on everything as well.
All the brands, internally.
But yeah, that's kind of how I ended up in Hasbro.
I enjoy it. Love it. Lenny, how'd you start?
As a kid, I would always design characters. You know, like that was my passion. Love drawing. Love making all sorts of crazy things. A lot of mutant drawings, dinosaurs, all that sort of thing.
I'm shocked.
Shocking, right?
Yeah.
So, as life goes on, you go into different directions, and I thought I wanted to go in like more of a psychology route.
Really?
So I went to school at William Patterson.
Fantastic.
While I was there, I was taking illustration courses just because I love it. And then I was like, what am I doing? This is who I am. This is my calling. So, at the time I was playing football and all that, and I saw my direction, so I veered from it, and I applied for to get into the FIT program, toy design. It's literally a toy design program.
Sure.
And the reason I did that was because my sister is actually a fashion designer.
Okay.
And she would always
It's in the blood.
Yeah, it's in the blood. My father was a painter, and he would create cabinets and all sorts of stuff. So
Yeah, wow.
Renaissance
we
man.
make stuff. We make stuff
Yeah.
for Panzekas. And my sister was like, "You should be a designer. You should your characters. You should bring them to life." So she's like, "There's a toy design program at the school that I went to." My sister's older than me. She's about 11 years older than me.
Sure.
Okay.
So she really pushed me to do it. She helped me in my portfolio, and then FIT, you go in for a crit. They like make you draw a toy really fast in like this like culling process, I like to call it.
Yeah.
But it was awesome, and
Like survival of the fittest.
survival of the
seriously,
toy
yeah.
designers.
There you go.
But it was
Hunger Games for
an
toys.
amazing,
Survivor toy.
an
Yeah.
amazing program though, because it was all people in the industry teaching classes.
Yeah.
Right? So it was really designed to get you working. And that was the one thing I loved about FIT. It was very much like, how do we get you to work? How do we get you into the industry? How do we teach you the tools that you will need to be successful.
Sure.
Right.
Sure.
So that program was incredible. I made a lot of really close friends in that program. A lot of people in the industry, and from there, I got my internship at Fisher Price up in East Aurora.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I was working on the Imagine X line.
That's awesome. Yeah.
It's such a cool line.
Yeah, it is.
And it was just a lot of cool stuff to work on. And, from there, after I did my internship, got my portfolio together, and Hasbro was like where I wanted to go. G.I. Joe.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
Well, that ended
making
up working out,
characters.
didn't it?
It worked
Yeah.
out. I got to Hasbro, and when I got to Hasbro, I worked on. I got hired to work on Spider-Man, the Spider-Man 3 line.
Yep.
Wow.
And then
okay.
from there, I worked on some Marvel Legends stuff before it was fully Legends, formed. Then Transformers for like 12 years on Transformers, which I loved. I did some Furby work, some Hero Mashers, and then when the opportunity to like kind of re-envision G.I. Joe came up, I was all over it.
Yeah.
And it was just, it's a dream come true.
Yeah.
And now we're doing it.
So you've been at Hasbro how many years?
I think 18.
18.
Wow.
It will be coming up on a decade
On a
relatively
decade.
soon. Yeah.
Okay, so a decade, 18 years.
Yeah.
What's changed? What's changed in the industry since you guys first started working there?
Well, the cafeteria changed at Hasbro a couple times.
Cafeteria changes all the
Yeah.
time at Hasbro.
Wine industry,
Yeah.
not the food.
Okay.
You go first. You go first.
Let me think. Just
Okay.
because I know we have a better way of archiving materials now.
Yes.
Okay.
Like that's a big thing, especially because like working on Transformers, working on G.I. Joe, we're obviously referencing.
Work.
Yeah, we are referencing old archive stuff constantly.
Sure.
And previously, it seemed like it wasn't as well maintained, but right now we have a wonderful system set
and a
in
full
place.
team now, too.
Yes, dedicated to making sure that all this stuff is archived and saved. So it's fantastic.
And so for everyone at home who's watching this and everything, why don't you take me through exactly when you say archiving? Why don't you take us through like exactly what that means so people can
Well, so
understand?
now we
Talk
have like
about
a
preserving the history, preserving.
Yeah,
the-
it's like a database essentially that keeps all work.
yes.
Okay.
Everything we do is chronicled. And, we kind of had that, but I think with the modern digitalization of everything,
Yes.
it's easier to do.
Yes.
And, I mean, wow, 18 years. I'm thinking about it now. It's
Yeah,
kind of
you
hitting.
probably experienced it a lot more than I have now that I think about it.
We're always churning. We're such design and engineering and in development, we're very passionate, so we're always in it.
Yeah.
So the time to take to step back and chronicle everything,
Yeah.
you need somebody else to do it.
Yes.
Sure, absolutely.
100%.
So we've got a full system now that does that, and it's great. And we can look back and kind of see where we've been, where we need to go, how we did something, share how we did something.
So do you look at it as like preserving like the future legacy of
Yeah.
the brand?
Legacy, and I'm pretty business practical. It's like how to do and how it was done.
Yeah.
Yes.
To then share process.
Yes.
In a lot of ways.
100%.
For everyone up for
Yeah.
everyone.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. You got a favorite part of the job?
Creating
Yeah.
Okay.
from an input stage. I love creating inputs. It's my
Yeah.
happy place because it's the schematic of what the toy's going to be,
Mm-hmm.
and it's the essence of the direction.
So you're talking about actually the very, very initial stages of what the toy is going to look like.
Yeah, I mean, concept phase is awesome where you're like, it's going to be this character with all this gear.
Yep.
Right.
But then from concept phase, when you start going to do the pattern drawing
Sure.
and then the stuff that goes with the figure, because at that point, you're starting to figure out how much things cost, you're starting to figure out how big things are, what you can and cannot do, and then you work with your sculpting team to kind of get it to the place it needs to be. And then from there, there's even more to go. So it's...
Sure.
It's like just it's the plan.
So it's
Yeah.
not just you sitting down or you sitting down doing it on your own. It's like you're working with a team of other people.
Oh, yeah,
absolutely.
it is a whole team.
Absolutely.
Does
Yeah.
it really get to a point where you say, I want to put a gun with him or I want to put an accessory? Can we do it? Do we have the money to do it?
It does.
Does
Yes,
get
it
down to
does.
that?
Constantly.
Okay.
Yeah. There used to be friends when I was telling them what I do for a living. It's like, oh, do you go to meetings and then you argue about the color of like a blaster accessory? It's like, yes, that
Yes,
does
that's
happen
exactly
every
it.
once in a while.
It's very interesting.
Yeah.
Was my next question was,
Yeah.
tell me a little something about the creation process that fans might not realize, and this is it.
Well,
I mean, a lot
yeah.
of people don't understand that. You actually have meetings over how big to...
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They're a
Like,
sword.
for instance, like you could be making a part in black,
Yeah.
but because it's molded with something else, if you make it in black and the other things need to be green, you've just destroyed kind of like how we churn out the piece.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
So to adjust the color of something could make the item come out quicker or faster
Cheaper?
or more productive.
Yeah.
Even beyond cheaper, it's like schedule.
It's always a
involved.
balance. Like you're
always a
you're
balance.
trying to find the middle ground for like
Got
all
it.
those different things.
So it can actually come down to a balance of if we make these in green as opposed to black, we can have them market
Yeah.
6 months
Yes,
earlier.
Yes, and it's like
Okay.
I always look at it like we're always like turning the gears and the knobs and adjusting the levels
Yeah.
essentially to make the item.
While still maintaining the quality for the fans,
100%.
which is what they do best. Yeah.
Well, we're trying.
Yeah,
yes.
and it's the direction, right? So your vision,
Perfect.
right? So it's like how do I keep the vision? How do I keep the direction? Do I have to diverge from the vision because something might have been in theory a good idea,
Yeah.
but for engineering is a terrible idea? you know?
I've actually heard that over the years. You know, I've worked with a lot of designers. I talk to a lot of people, and I keep hearing people saying, you know, the creators and designers will come up with something great, and then it'll get down to the engineering process,
Yes.
and they'll say, you can't do this. We haven't invented it yet.
it's not feasible.
Or
Yeah,
it'll be
yeah.
like a $500 toy.
They're kind of the unsung hero. A lot
engineers.
of times. Engineers,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Geniuses.
They are geniuses.
Yep.
They are very smart, and
Yep.
like, I think a good designer understands that,
Yes.
and then learns what the engineer does, so that you can then plan better.
Sure.
Well,
Right.
yeah, I think a good designer understands that it is a partnership and it is
Yes.
a team sport
Yeah,
and it is not a solo game.
It's not just a pretty
Yeah.
picture.
Yes, exactly.
It's a product.
Yeah.
And how are you going to make this widget,
Correct.
right?
It's not all about you. It is the team.
Yes,
It's a
100%.
So you got any advice for any future designers? I know a lot of people write in. They ask us questions about what's the best advice. I want to be a toy designer in the
If
future.
people want to go into toy design, then take toy design classes, study industrial
Yeah.
design. I
So
did
it starts-
not.
it
and
starts
I
with industrial
am Very
design.
much regretting that, but I am learning every day still.
Yeah, I think that would be.
So-
I think that's great advice because a lot of these programs, they're taught by people who are in the industry,
Yes.
and who's going to tell you any better than somebody who's lived it?
Yes,
Right?
exactly.
Listen to people and ask questions
constantly. Yeah.
Like, especially if you are getting your foot in the door in the industry. Like when you first get in, like listen to your engineer about a design thing because they're working with designers. They know.
Yeah.
So
100%.
Fantastic. You know what? And as we're talking, I actually think we might have some questions coming in from off camera live from everyone at home.
that's
Oh,
wild.
thank you.
This is our form of email. This is con mail. All right, so we're going to take a couple of questions from all you folks. This is from Megatron. Megatron asks.
Megatron asks.
Megatron, he's watching. What figures did you like designing the most? It's like naming your favorite child.
I know.
It
They're
very
all my
much
favorite.
is. So I have two answers for this. So it's actually a PulseCon exclusive that we just revealed. The core class Dinobots is where they started, and now
Beautiful.
they make Dino King. I had so much fun working with Shusan over at Takara Tomy so that we could make a core class combiner.
Yeah.
And it's so much fun to get those little core class dinos transforming and having them combined together.
Yeah, they're pretty sick.
Yeah, and then after that is obviously the 86 Optimus Prime. I'm sorry, Megatron.
Okay.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
a tough question.
Yeah,
There you
exactly.
I think for me, it'd have to be Grunt.
Yep.
Because Grunt, he's an unassuming Joe.
Sure.
He's a green shirt. And, he's pretty, I don't want to say the word generic,
Yep.
but, like, he's your baseline. And
Is he like a trooper? Like
Grunt is a character.
Okay.
But Grunt
Oh.
is like a green shirt, typical G.I. Joe. And it's like, if you were to make a G.I. Joe from scratch, the first ingredient is Grunt.
Perfect.
And then you would
He
put other
is your
ingredients.
base avatar body that
And
you
the
start
way
with
he-
and then you build off
100%.
of? Okay.
And
I
the
see.
way he came out at the end of the day, he was beautiful in his simplicity. But then we did update him by giving him some new kitted out gear.
Yep.
Okay.
But like it all worked together, and he was elegantly simple, but yet complex on other angles. For the other one is Road Pig.
Road Pig. Love it.
He's a giant meathead with a hammer. He's awesome.
Your favorite.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we do have a comment real quick. This is from 3-Star Drawl. Not a question, Lenny, but thank you for specifying that Raucous is a pity mix.
He's a pity mix. Yep.
There you go.
That's a big pit bull.
And one more. All right,
Okay.
this is from Rachel Salinas. And Rachel, here we go. Rachel asks, now that Road Pig has been revealed, what's the next dream character you want to work on? Your next dream character?
Somebody asked me this earlier, and I think it's Overkill.
Yes.
And the gold one.
The gold one?
Oh, yeah. The cyborg one is the way to go for me.
Okay, so that's what you want to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
You have something you're cooking up that you want to say?
No, I'm okay.
No?
I'm good to go.
All right, one
Yeah.
more from Megatron. Megatron, we got you covered at this show. Megatron wants to know, are there any figures you would like to see improved upon,
Oh.
or that you would have done differently?
Ooh.
For me or for Evan.
I guess for both of you.
it says
does
both.
say
So-
Lenny,
okay,
yeah.
okay.
Lenny and Evan.
So I think everybody experiences this when they first start out and they first do some
Yeah.
of their first figures.
Yeah.
They can see where it could be improved.
Sure.
Just like, oh, I wish I would have done these details better or something like that.
Yeah.
I definitely think there are a few figures of mine when I was first starting out in my career that it's like, kind of wish I would have added maybe a little bit more detail.
Yeah.
Maybe I was trying to be too animation accurate.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
I guess that's how I'll put that.
How about you? Is that would you call that designing withdrawal?
Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
or the hindsight.
Okay,
like, maybe,
hindsight.
Yeah.
It is 50-50.
Yeah.
Lenny's thinking.
Hindsight 50-50.
And he's like, no, everything I did's been perfect.
No, I actually you don't even know the anxiety I have about every figure because it's like they're so close
Yeah.
to us. You know what I mean? So it's like I'm like I could have fixed this. I could have moved this eye down a little bit. I could have adjusted stitching detail a little bit. I could have changed the articulation a little bit. I
Do
could
you
have went with a rocker
get
instead of a-
nightmares about it sometimes?
I
Because
do.
I do
Sounds
as well.
This sounds
Yeah.
like, you know what, this sounds like me after like a breakup.
Yeah.
I should have said something different.
It is that
I
because
should've taken her to dinner.
Yeah.
it's like immortalized in plastic too. So you're like,
Yeah.
I could have adjusted this a little bit. From a character standpoint, that I would have changed. I don't want to say because then it kind of telegraphs what I'm going to do later.
Oh.
Okay, you know what?
Yeah,
Don't say
yeah,
it. Put a pin in it.
You know
We'll
what?
come
That's the
back to
same
it.
reason I didn't say
Yeah,
anything.
I
Yeah,
noticed
so-
you got guarded about it because I was about to be like, bah, bah, bah,
Yeah,
bah, bah.
yeah.
That's- That's perfect. Then you know what?
Yeah.
That might be something down the line for all
Yeah.
the fans to look at.
I
Yeah.
think I could fix everything at some point in time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
it. Evan, Lenny, I know you guys are busy. I want to thank you for taking the time to sit with
awesome.
us.
Yeah, thanks for talking to us.
Hasbro's coverage of San Diego Comic-Con 2024 continues right after this. Hang around.